Here we are with the second part of this lesson. As we have already discussed about cell and cell organelles, over here we're going to start with the cell wall. Now basically we have now till now we have understood that cell wall is a part of plant cell, right? And it is not a part of animal cell. So plant cell, basically what is the function of it? We should know it, right? So the cell wall is the outermost covering of a cell, and it is present only in plant cell. And plasma membrane is the plasma membrane, which is also called a cell membrane, as a kind of covering, and it is extremely delicate and flexible, and it is the outermost covering of animal cell. All right, and it is not present in cell wall. It's not compulsory. Plasma membrane can be present in cell wall, cell plant as well, or you can say plant cell. So now cytoplasm means what? The liquid part in the cell present around the nucleus is called a cytoplasm. So basically the jelly matrix, you can say, it is present in the cell, which is filling all the cell. For example, you have a balloon, you have filled the balloon with water, and now in that water you have mixed all the sparkles and the different stars or anything which you want. So there has to be something in which all these things has to be suspended. So that is cytoplasm, and it occupies the space between the plasma membrane and the nucleus, and cell organelles are scattered in the cytoplasm. So as we have already discussed that all the cell organelles are present in the cytoplasm, and the cell is itself covered by plasma membrane, all right, or you can say cell membrane. Now cell organelles means what? This also we have discussed that mainly it includes nucleus, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi bodies, lysosome, mitochondria, vacuoles, plastid, etc. And in plant cells you have chloroplast and plastids. All right, so now chloroplast is only present in plant cells, because plants are autotrophs and we all are heterotrophs. So the next topic is, what is nucleus and why we have to study the nucleus. Basically, why it is called as most important organelle of the cell. For example, you have brain in your body, so this brain controls your body functions and movement. Okay, and if your brain dead, if the brain is not working, so we will not be able to do any functions. Okay, we may be called as a living, okay, but there is no function as such, but there is no movement, so you will be just lying on a bed. All right, so that is why nucleus is the most important organ of the cell. Why? Because it controls all the function of the cell, and also it is double membrane bound. So there are two layers around the nucleus. The next part is the endoplasmic reticulum, and it is called as sprawling net-like organelle. We will see the structure in detail as well. So sprawling net-like means they are just like net, which is around the nucleus. The origin of endoplasmic reticulum is from basically the nucleus membrane. So its function is to make necessary changes in the protein produced by the ribosome and send them to the Golgi bodies. Golgi bodies are made up of several flat sacs. Now this sac, okay, how it looks like, again we are going to see in the structure in detail, and the function is the proper distribution of protein. So when we talk about nucleus, it controls all the cell organelles and function of the cell. When we talk about endoplasmic reticulum, it helps in the functions of making of the protein which is produced by ribosomes on it. You have two type of and ER, that is endoplasmic reticulum. We will also see that in detail. And next part is Golgi bodies, which is very like several flat sac are present, which is helping the protein which is made by endoplasmic reticulum for the distribution. And mitochondria and plastids are the organelle with double outer covering. Also they have their own DNA. Again I'm repeating, in the cell you have nucleus, and in nucleus you have DNA, also in mitochondria and plastids. So as mitochondria produce energy, they are called as powerhouse of the cell. This is a GK, please note it down. माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया को हम पावर हाउस ऑफ द सेल इसीलिए भी कहते हैं क्योंकि माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया ही एनर्जी प्रोड्यूस करता है, and the chloroplast in the plant cells carry out the function of photosynthesis. Next part is vacuoles. Vacuoles helps to throw out the waste products of the cell, and vacuoles in animal cells are small, whereas there is only one large vacuole in the plant cell. Why we have large vacuole in plant cell and not in animal cell is because, see, because plant they store food in them. All right. So basically vacuoles which is large, it is because plants store their food material in that vacuoles. All right, now we have occurrence of microorganisms. So microorganisms are present all around us in the air, water, soil, food, sewage, garbage, as well as in the bodies of plants and animals, including humans. Microorganisms matlab छोटे छोटे organisms, right? Very small, which we some are so small that we cannot even see from our naked eye, right? But they are present all around us. Some microorganisms are solitary, वो अकेले रहते हैं. They live singly. Example is amoeba, paramecium, whereas some live in colonies. So we basically don't know the how they are so much, spread, and what are the some are useful, some are harmful. So based on that, we have microorganisms. Now some microorganisms live on the remains of the dead plants and animals. So yeah, they are the best decomposers, and some are responsible for the infections as well. Now observation and measurement of microorganisms. See, if over here we will see that uh, how small they are actually. So we cannot see objects smaller than 100 micrometers in size with our eyes. So we make glass slides of the microorganisms and observe them under the compound microscope. However, if a magnification of 1000 into proves to be insufficient, then we need to use an electron microscope to observe those microorganisms. So those microorganisms who are really really very very tiny, so for them we use electron microscope, which is very 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 advanced. Okay, not that advanced. We have several stratas where microscopes are based on their advances. We have so many, but right now we are just talking about electron microscope, which is very very advanced. Okay, now sizes of some microorganisms are paramecium. If you talk about it, is 100 micrometers. See, basically you have meters, centimeters, right? Millimeters. So over here we use the unit as micrometers. Bacteria of typhoid is 1 to 3 micrometers, and poliovirus is 28 nanometers. Microbes measure less than 100 micrometers. So you can imagine that how small these microorganisms are, and even in these minute organisms, their organelle carry out all life processes within the single cell. So over here we have seen the how small they are. Now what are the nature of microorganisms? So over here, as you can see, there are several microorganisms. So these are the very very high, you can say, magnified image of these microorganisms. Some are animated. Okay, it can be the for you to understand the clear picture it is given over here. So these microorganisms are very small, and these are the variation. You can see the variation in their size, their type, and their all function also. But over here only the structure is seen, right? And you can see how magnificent they are. Now, some microorganisms like the fungus that grow on bread or strands of algae in ponds are multicellular. That this means what? That they have many cells in them. However, most microorganisms such as bacteria and viruses are unicellular. They have only single cell in them, and they have somewhat different cellular structure. Even the structure of the cell is different. So they do not have the membrane bound organelle found in यूकैरियोटिक सेल. यूकैरियोटिक सेल में क्या होता है? मेम्ब्रेन बाउंड ऑर्गेनल्स फाउंड होते हैं या नहीं होते? So these microorganisms are so small that they are not that advanced. यूकैरियोटिक सेल्स में क्या होता है कि मेम्ब्रेन बाउंड ऑर्गेनल्स फाउंड होते हैं, पर in this case, which is we are talking about, these microorganisms, they are very simple. They do not have this membrane bound organelle. Okay, जैसे कि हमने बात की थी माइक्रो, जैसे न्यूक्लियस का डबल मेम्ब्रेन है, माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया का डबल मेम्ब्रेन है, प्लास्टिड है, इन सब का एक मेम्ब्रेन होता है, राइट? लेकिन इस माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स में जो जिसकी हम अभी बात कर रहे हैं, जो बहुत ही छोटे होते हैं, वो बहुत ही सिंपल होते हैं. So the plasma membrane, cytoplasm and nucleoids are their only component, and such cells are called as prokaryotic cells. So prokaryotic cell का मतलब क्या आप समझे कि इसमें प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन, साइटोप्लाज्म और न्यूक्लियोइड, सिर्फ ये 3 कंपोनेंट्स होते हैं. उसमें जो सेल ऑर्गेनल्स हैं वो डबल लेयर से नहीं होते, या फिर यू कैन से कि कोई भी ऑर्गेनल मेम्ब्रेन बाउंड नहीं होता. वो यू कैन से कि वो थोड़ा मिक्स्ड रहते हैं थोड़े, because they are prokaryotic cell, that means primary cell, and prokaryotic cell is the basic type of cell, and eukaryotic is quite advanced. All right, एज यू कैन सी ओवर हियर, प्रोकारियोटिक सेल की अगर हम बात करते हैं तो इतना सिंपल सा है। इसमें आप देख सकते हो कि साइटोप्लाज्म, राइबोसोम्स और प्लास्टिड्स हैं वो बस तैर रहे हैं जेली मैट्रिक्स में, विच वी कॉल एज साइटोप्लाज्म। एंड यू कैन सी न्यूक्लियोटाइड्स, प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन, सेल वॉल, कैप्सूल एंड फ्लैजेला। फ्लैजेला इज हेल्पफुल फॉर द मूवमेंट. So but when you compare this picture with the cell, plant cell or animal cell, they are quite advanced. So this prokaryotic cell is very basics. There is no membrane bound separate organelle as such, which you can see in this picture. So growth of microorganisms, आपको क्या लगता है कि ग्रोथ के लिए, माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स के ग्रोथ के लिए क्या ज़रूरी होता है? किस चीज़, कौन सी ऐसी चीज़ है जो माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स के ग्रोथ के लिए हेल्पफुल होती है? ऑब्वियसली फूड, न्यूट्रिशन, राइट? हमें भी न्यूट्रिशन की ज़रूरत होती है, इन्हें भी न्यूट्रिशन की ज़रूरत होती है. सो ईच माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स नीड अ स्पेसिफिक इन्वायरमेंट फॉर देयर ग्रोथ एंड रिप्रोडक्शन. All right, so that is why if we do not want our food to get spoiled, what we do, we either keep in fridge or we keep on boiling it, right? For if we talk about milk, we keep on boiling it so that there is no growth of microorganisms. Why? Because when we raise the temperature of food or we decrease the temperature of food to such extent that microorganism is not able to reproduce or grow, so in this way we can protect our food. So either we can do it by increasing the temperature or by reducing the temperature to such a limit where they cannot grow. So many microbes need oxygen for their growth, whereas some microbes can grow without oxygen. Of course, so some microorganisms need oxygen, some microorganisms do not need oxygen. This we know already. So, some microorganisms survive even in the extreme and adverse conditions like the ocean floor, ice in polar region, hot water spring, etc. In the earlier slide, as we have already learned, that microorganisms are everywhere, everywhere. Alright, so during adverse conditions, microorganisms form a thick covering around themselves and stop their life processes. For example, some animal also go in hibernation, means they do not do any function, they just keep their heartbeat they control in such a way that the very minimum energy is expend on their living function. So same thing, these microorganisms also what they do, अपने आप को वे एक थिक लेयर के अंदर पैक कर लेते हैं, जिसकी वजह से क्या होता है कि उन लोगों का जो लाइफ प्रोसेस है वो थोड़ा सा स्टॉप हो जाएगा, या तो धीरे हो जाएगा या तो पूरी तरीके से स्टॉप हो जाएगा. एंड जब उन्हें फेवरेबल कंडीशन मिलती है तो दे अगेन रिमूव दैट शेल और यू कैन से द कवरिंग ओके ऑन देम एंड दे कम आउट and then their life processes starts. This is all for today, the growth of microorganisms till here, and later on in the next video we will see how these microorganisms are affecting our health. All right, so till here please revise and see that if you have any doubt you can please ask me. Till then, take care.